Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page right here at Facebook, where I do a daily live stream around the divination card or the oracle card that I draw in the morning. That particular card is all about the energy that's flowing today that's important for us to know about. Yeah, for the highest good, of course, right? And it also sparks a conversation, a spiritual conversation that I hope that we all learn a little bit from and can take a little bit away from it, right? So, thank you for being with me this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are around Grandmother Earth. Today is March 4th, and it's Monday. And as I was getting prepared for the show here in the second studio, which happens to be my meditation room, yeah, I was thinking about the date, March 4th. It would have been one of my older brother's 67th birthday, I believe. He would have been 67 today. Yeah. His name was Paul, too. I have my dad's name is Paul. I had a brother named Paul, and my husband's name is Paul. What's going on with that, right? It was kind of funny, when we'd be all together as a family, and I'd say, "Hey, Paul." All three of them would turn around. Not that I would call my dad Paul, but that was his name. And so, yeah, kind of funny. But anyway, having thoughts and when we think about those and our loved ones that have crossed over, that have walked on, whenever we think about them, they're here with us, right? So, Shadan Cote Ben is here with us today because my thoughts went to him as soon as I sat down. Yeah. So before we get rolling with the card, what I'd like to do is invite you to please like and share the live stream. I'm going to do the same thing. And especially for this particular show, I think this is going to be a very beneficial one because of the card that was drawn this morning. So I'm going to find our live stream on the fan page. Here we are. And I'm going to and I'm going to share it over to my news feed so that my friends know that I'm live streaming. And to please join. There we go. That's done. And I'm not sure if Stephanie is going to be joining us today or not. Stephanie and her son, they both have the flu. And so she was sick yesterday, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and post it to the closed groups so that we've covered them too. Oops. Got to do it right in order for it to happen, though. All right, let's see. We're going to discard that one. And we're going to go over into the live stream. And I'm going to write a post from there. I think. Oh, what? It's been a while since I've done this piece. Hang on. I know I can do this. I know I can. I'm going to share it. Going to share it to a group. There we go. Just had to hit the right button. Just going to let the other peeps know, right? Live streaming. And then to please join. There we go. There. Done. Done and done, they say. So for those of you who did like and share, thank you so much. And for those that might be watching this by the recorded video, I invite you to also like and share, okay? Even if it's just to one other person, somebody that you know that might enjoy the information, has been looking for the information, or likes this kind of conversation, right? So thank you so much for doing that. Hey, Julie Shumway Hill is in the house. Hello, Julie. It's always good to see your name in the chat. Pat's here too. Hello, Pat. And Rochelle is here saying, hello, Neshi, doing much better this afternoon. Yay, that's good. That's good, Rochelle. And thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. And Marie's in the house too. Thank you for sharing, Marie. Thank you. And look, one of my sisters is in the house. Christine. Christine, hello, Christine. I know why you're here. That's because of that earth dragon. And Rochelle says, Deb is here with me and wants to sit and listen to you. Oh, hi, Deb. Hello, Deb. It's been a long time since we've made a connection, so it's good to have you in the house via Rochelle. That's great. Yeah, today, Monday, I had to stop and I don't know about you guys, but, sometimes my days are pretty much the same, I take care of Mom. I work on Star Nation stuff. I take care of George. I take care of Mom. I work on Star Nation stuff. I take care of George. And it really doesn't matter what day it is necessarily, right? It's the same thing that happens day after day. And there's days when my alarm goes off and I lay there for a second and I'm thinking, what day is it? What day is it? And I have to think, okay, so what's for breakfast this morning? Oh yeah, okay, because Mom's breakfast, we got kind of a routine going for her digestive issues, right? And today's bath day, and say, okay, all right, it's Monday. I know it sounds a little odd, but without that happening, honestly, I don't know if I'd even know what date or day it would be. Yeah. But anyway, it's Monday. And then when I sat down, as I said, and I was looking at the date, and I thought, oh, March 4th. And my thoughts, my heart went to my brother, and yeah. My brother Paul Jr., his native name, his Indian name was Shadan, and that means to touch the sky, right? And when you're standing on the ground and you're touching the sky. And in Potawatomi, for those that have crossed over or walked on, we add, it sounds like Ben at the end of their name. So Shadan Ben means that was his name, but he's now with the Creator, right? He's with the ancestors. He's with the stars, Ben. And so memories of him kind of floated through my mind very quickly. He was the one brother that would call me sis. He was the one brother that I would always get like little gifts from. Nothing, really expensive or anything like that, but it was like little gifts from him. He was the first one who gave me a turquoise necklace for one of my birthdays. And so Paul Jr. and I had a different kind of connection that I have with my other brothers, right? Yeah. And then he had this sense of humor, and he was really smart, he would do these play on words, and he'd say things like let's say we, oh sure, now that I want to say it, right, talk about tip of the tongue. I'll think of it. But he used to say it all the time, and he was a trained chef, and he loved to cook, but he hardly ever cooked at home. Yeah, and he has a daughter. Actually, he has two daughters. Yeah. And when I was teaching classes, when I first started teaching classes from here, from our home up in Toma, the first year that we were here, I was having the hardest time trying to find a chef to come in to do the meals for a 2-week certification course that I was teaching. Yeah, it wouldn't have been so hard, but we needed to have somebody who could create both vegetarian and vegan meals, as well as omnivore. In other words, some animal protein. And it was kind of hard to find that in one person, right? And it was on my mind. And I remember one night I had this dream. It was more than a dream. It was one of those lucid ones, that I could hear somebody in the kitchen. And in my spirit body, I get up and I walk into the kitchen, and there's my brother Paulie at the middle island, and he's whipping up something. He's in the kitchen cooking. And he looks up at me and he smiles and he said, "Hey sis, how you doing?" He says, "I thought I'd just practice a little something here for breakfast." And he says, "And you know that thing that you're worried about, finding somebody to cook for you? Don't worry about it. I got your back. You know, we'll have the person come to you. Don't worry about it. Go to sleep." It's like, and sure enough, 4 days later, Mary Anderson Fry, you see her sometimes in the chats. She's down near Madison, contacted me and said, "My sister actually lives like 30 minutes from you, and she is a vegetarian cook, and she doesn't mind cooking animal protein." 4 days later. That was my brother. Yeah. Hey, Tanya's here too. Hello, Tanya. Good to have you here in the live chat with us. Good. All right. So today's card is the card that we haven't had before. And so it's brand new information for us. And it's always interesting to see what comes, it's how the cards kind of flow together, the information from one day to the next. And so yesterday we had hare again, and we had blackbird, right? And how blackbird was supporting what hare was sharing with us. And today we have, wait for it. Oh, wait, let me move hide my name so you guys can see the card. There we go. Earth Dragon. And when I flipped this card over, because it popped out, it literally jumped out of the deck on, I think it was like the second or third shuffle, and landed face down. When I turned it over, it was right side up. And I had to say, "Holy smokes." Because I don't know about you, but let me ask you this, okay? Your first time seeing it, where do you feel his energy in your body? In your physical body? He's an earth dragon. Okay. I'm going to get the Gaelic pronunciation for us. So the earth dragon, the Gaelic pronunciation is Draig-Talamh. Draig-Talamh. I hope I pronounced that right. Draig-Talamh. Earth dragon. Hey, Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Good to have you here. And Derek says wasabi. That's hot stuff. And Rochelle says she feels the earth dragon's energy in her chest. Okay. And Rob is saying the second chakra. Okay. And Julie's saying solar plexus. Yeah. When I first turned it over and I said, "Holy smokes," it was right in my solar plexus as soon as I flipped the card over. Our power center. And so, for those that felt it in the heart chakra area, keep track of that as we go through the information, right? And what it might mean for you, because it's going to be different for each one of us, right? The how it resonates with us, and what areas of the earth dragon covers for us, right? Yeah. Julie's saying very apprehensive, a sinking feeling in my stomach, solar plexus. Ah, okay. Well, let's take a look at that, okay? Well, let's take a look at the card itself. We're going to start at the top like we usually do, right? I'm going to start at the top, and you can see that he is kind of underground, right? Kind of in a cavern or a cave. Notice his color. And I know that it will be different from web browser to web browser, but it's kind of a reddish orange with a little yellow in there. And he's surrounded by stone, all curled up, right? And down near the bottom, do you see that? Down near the bottom, let's see, can see all the jewels and treasures, a lot of them. And just down below him, there's something green. It looks like it has a face just above the fern. At first, I thought, oh, there's a gnome. Yeah, very interesting. And even the stone or the rock that he's sitting on, I kind of saw another dragon etched into the stone underneath him. I don't know if you see that too, but certainly, oh my goodness, I know all those treasures there, right? All kinds. You even have like a looks like an axe, and it was probably part of a warrior's weapon. Lots of gold, a lot of gold. So literally, the dragon is sitting on top of the treasure, right? And we notice something here with this artist, and the artist's name is Bill Worthington. And many of the cards that the animal is looking at us with one eye, and if it has one eye, it's usually the left eye. Not always, but usually, right? Yeah. So what do we know about dragon in general, right? What do we know about dragon in general? And the value or how much they're cherished across the world is slightly different in their meanings, right? Because you think about Chinese and you think about Japanese and the dragons, right? And then you think about the UK, the Brits, and all of the knights that would slay dragons, right? Yeah. And how sometimes they would talk about dragons terrorizing countrysides. Um, yeah. And so for a lot of those stories, dragon has, I want to say, some fear components to it, but I think it depends on which culture it's coming from and who's telling the story, right? Yeah. hmm Christine saying, interesting fang necklace. I thought so too. And Rob is saying, dragons hoard treasures just like in Grendel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wonder though, do when we've had the fire dragon and we've had water dragon with these cards. The earth dragon is the only one that shows treasure. The other two didn't. Okay. So I'm thinking that maybe not all dragons hoard treasure, according to the Druids, anyway. Right? Andrea saying, hello, hello, Andrea. It's good to have you here. And Tanya saying, seeing the face at first, I felt peace. With that soft colors of the dragon and almost a smile on his face, I felt it in my heart. Oh, good one. So keep track of that, Tanya, as we read the information coming from the author, who is Philip Cargome. Okay. And Rob is saying, in the East, dragons are forces of creation. That's right. They are. And I like the words that you use there, Rob. Forces of creation. Okay, forces. So you know that they're carrying a lot of energy. They're carrying big medicine, right? Big medicine. And I was just thinking about, in February, right? In February from the 5th to the 19th was the Chinese New Year. And whenever they celebrate Chinese New Year, which is on the lunar calendar, right, is that they always have a dragon in the celebration. So it's usually it's like made out of like parachute cloth. And so it's got a lot of movement to it, and you've got people inside of it, right, going down through the parade, through the festivities. And the dragon is supposed to be bringing good luck. It's supposed to be, it's got an immense energy to it. And I think that's one of the reasons when I flipped the card over, I literally went, holy smokes. It's the earth dragon. And what I said because I could feel it in my solar plexus, right? So Grab's saying the school I attend is the Dragon Martial Arts. Oh, okay. So, and that's not the word that is the word for cheese in Spanish, but queso. But the thing is, Rob, so there is this possibility then, right? There's a possibility that dragon could be a power animal for you, right? Is he? Do you know that? Because if you don't, we can ask. Very interesting. Where I used to teach out of in La Crosse, it was the Warriors Hall. And one of the business partners, James, he has since walked on. And one of the early times that I was working with them through about the illuminated heart and the Merkaba, in one of his meditations, a dragon came to him and literally curled itself around the building. Yeah, and that was an earth dragon. Very interesting, isn't it? Hey, Valerie, good to have you here. It's always good to see you in the chat. So Rob says dragons represent the reptilian nature. Birds are reptilian. Yes, that's true. That's true. But let's go into the spiritual end of it. Okay, the spiritual end of it. And the question to you, Rob, was: is dragon a power animal for you? Okay. And if you don't know for sure, if you'd like, I can douse on it for you if you want me to. So I'm going to show the picture one more time here before we get into what the author has to say. But Tanya, I can see that. I can see that feeling that you had about peace, and that the dragon almost looks like he's got a smile on his face. Yeah. And let's think about this. This is an earth dragon, right? And he is underground in this cave. He's inside Grandmother Earth. Inside Grandmother Earth. Yeah. Nurturing, maybe? Nurturing. You can't get much closer to Grandmother Earth than that. And Rob's saying, I don't know if the dragon is a power animal or a totem or not. Okay, so if you'd like me to douse on it for you, Rob, just let me know, okay? And we can get that done for you right now. So the words associated with earth dragon coming from the author is power, potential, and riches. Power, potential, and riches. All right, so this is what the author has to say about the card. He says the card shows a coiled dragon guarding a hoard of treasure in its cave. An old inhabitant of the Welsh village, Penlyon, who died at the turn of the century, insisted that his father and uncle had killed such dragons. In his boyhood, he had seen them, Coiled when rusting, they looked as if they were covered with jewels of all sorts. Some of them had crests sparkling with all the colors of the rainbow. When disturbed, they glided swiftly, sparkling all over to their hidden places. So when I read this, I was thinking, okay, they didn't fight when they were located. When this man as a boy saw them, they didn't, try to hurt him and take him captive or any of those things. What they did is they moved very swiftly to their hiding place. And so this man, as a young boy, saw them as glimmery, shimmery as they were moving away, right? Going to their hiding place. So it makes me wonder why his father and his uncle would kill them if they weren't aggressive, right? Were they hunting the treasure? Oh, because the dragon is going to protect the treasure, right? So that's what my thoughts went to, is like, so why didn't the dragon fulfill some of the stereotypes that we hear about dragon, and hurt this little boy, right? And as soon as I had that thought, you know what went through my mind? Puff the magic dragon, right? Lives by the sea. Of course, that would have been a water dragon, right? All right. So, hey, Kimberly's here. Hello, Kimberly. It's always good to see you in the chat. I know how late it is by you. It's evening time for you, and I always appreciate that you come and join us when you do. And Rob is saying, yes, please. Okay, to the dowsing. Okay, let's get that done, and then we'll pick up with the author, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm just going to check to make sure my pendulum is clear. Okay, so asking my spiritual team, is my pendulum sufficiently clear to douse with? Yes. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to try to hold my elbow close to my body so we don't get a lot of extra swing here. All right, so is it, let's see, first of all, am I worthy to douse today? Yes, that's always a good sign. Thank you. And is it in the highest good that I douse for Rob Kendall regarding the dragon as a power animal? Yes. Okay. And could you also check with his high self, his soul self? Is this, I have permission from his soul self? Yes. Oh, that's a big yes. All right. Thank you. Is the dragon a power animal for Rob Kendall? Yes. Is it a totem? No. Okay. So it's a power animal. All right. So we've had 3 dragons. So is it the water dragon? No. Is it the fire dragon? No. All right. Is it the earth dragon? Yes. All right. And what about the air dragon? No. All right. So it looks like we're going to be learning about your power animal, Rob, and I get a big yes for that. There you go. Yay. Excellent. I like that. George was in here and I'm finding stuff he shouldn't have. All right, so let's see what else the author has to say about the earth dragon, okay? So the words are associated with this one is power, potential, and riches. Philip says that the earth dragon brings us face to face with our potential. Within us, we have a treasure house of riches, of powers and capacities, which we can learn how to use. In the past, we may have been denied access by the guardian of these treasures, but now we are coming to understand that this sometimes fierce guardian is in reality an aspect of ourselves. By coming to know and love the earth dragon, we'll be able to unlock the secrets of our heart. And at the same time, we'll find ourselves discovering the beauty and the power that lie within the hearts of those around us in the very earth itself. All right. Rob is saying, is that why I've been dragging my ass at work? Probably. Probably. You're welcome, Rob. All right. I'm going to read that last bit again because I think that's really important. Okay. It says, by coming to know and love Earth Dragon, we will be able to unlock the secrets of our heart. And at the same time, we'll find ourselves discovering the beauty and the power that lie within the hearts of those around us and in the very earth herself. Okay. So, especially here at Star Nations, we've been talking about being grounded for months and months and months and months and months now, right? Probably close to a year. And actually teaching people how to ground. Because we feel, think, and sense that this is really, really important. As we're making, the earth is making all of her shifts and changes. In order for us to follow her and be with her, we have to be connected to her in all ways, right? And so that's one of the reasons why we ask almost every single day, have you grounded? Have you grounded? And because when we're grounded, we're more stable. We can actually have our chakras as open as optimal. Okay. Yeah. And so that we can take in information of all different kinds of information that's flowing through and to be able to take them in a calm and steady, stable way. Even though some of that information may be shocking to us, it may be like, what, why? It won't shove us off balance when we're grounded. Okay. So what they're showing me is in the movie, one of the movies, Lord of the Rings movies, where you have the Ents, the trees, and they went to what was that dark wizard, right? And they were going to they're entering the battle for Middle Earth, and they had to withstand the rush of water, and they had to send their roots deep in order to stay upright, right? It's kind of like that, because there's times in our lives when we get pushed by the information that's coming at us in an emotional way, right? And so when we're grounded and we're stable, we can take that. It might push us back a little bit, but it's not going to knock us down. Okay, it's good. We're going to feel it. We're going to know it's there, but when we're grounded, we can take in the information in the way that we can actually access the true meaning of the information. Does that make sense? Yeah. You're welcome, Rob. You're welcome. And Tanya saying grounding is something I need to learn more about. Okay. We have some things already in video. We'll try to find those links, okay, Tanya, so we can put them in the comment section, and I'll make sure that you're tagged. Because some of the teachers, show hosts have already talked about grounding. We've done that here a couple of times, but that way you get to see it and hear it from a couple of different perspectives, all right, and see which one resonates best with you. I know that Julie Hedges, she's in the chat. She's one of our show hosts, one of our teachers here at the Academy, and a contributing writer too. I know that she's done a couple shows. One show about grounding, I think there was a Meta Monday Is that right, Julie, where you did something with grounding? And we can get those links all in one place, okay? So it might be easier for you to access them. All right. So now this card came to us upright. But I'm finding that when we also include the reverse information, it helps us to understand in a deeper way the meaning or the essence of this card. Okay. And so this information says that drawn in reverse, this card may be indicating that somehow you are relating in an inappropriate way to your inner reserves and potential. That you might be relating inappropriately to your inner reserves and potential. The earth dragon guards the treasures of your soul fiercely. The treasures of your soul fiercely. You know what those are? Those are your gifts that you came in with. But he's your ally, not your enemy. Do not try to kill him, and do not try to wrestle the treasure from him. You may need to spend time befriending this creature who has slumbered in your soul for so long. If you try to capitalize on your talents or express their potential in an unwise way, that would probably be not beneficial to you when you're trying to wrestle them from him, right? When you're trying to slay that dragon to get to your gifts, when he's actually there, yes, to protect them, not to hide them from you, but when you're ready, I don't even know if that's the right word. Okay, when you have healed and enough of your traumas, okay, emotional and mental traumas, and you are coming closer to your original vibration frequency that you came in with, your gifts are always there for you. But sometimes, if we have them too soon, we can misuse them, and that's an abuse of power. Okay, and so that is probably why we don't have full access to them until we're capable of wielding them in a good way, or at least making that choice, right? Julie, how about a Star Nations class about grounding again? Sure, we can do that. We can do that. I think I did the first one, so I think that if there was another teacher willing to do a free mini class on it, so that it comes from another perspective, I think that's a really good idea, Julie. Why don't we float it out there? If you're volunteering, that's great. I'd say yes. But if you're too busy to do it, let's float it out there and see which of the other teachers would be willing to do a mini class about grounding, so that those that are in the academy closed group, they have another perspective other than just mine. I mean, the video is still there. Recorded, but you see what I mean, Julie, though? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We just need another person to do it, I think. And she's also listed the YouTube for her grounding, I think the one that she did, right? Yeah. And she says, my personal grounding practice takes 30 seconds twice a day. Yay. It's a good one, too. Yeah, good. Thank you for putting that link in there, Julie. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. All right, so Philip goes on to say that the landscape is constantly changing, and some scholars suggest that the Druids practiced their own version of geomantic art known as, in China, as feng shui. Now, see, I'm a feng shui teacher. Well, I read that and I thought, oh my gosh, all right, this is good. He goes on to say that from this point of view, dragons become ley lines, and that's spelled Ley lines, ley lines, or energy currents And taming the dragon, in quotes, taming the dragon becomes a metaphor for practicing geomancy or for the dowser's technique of earth acupuncture, driving stakes into the ground to control or divert harmful earth currents. Okay, so yes, dragon lines are ley lines, and they can run either negative or positive, right? And there's a way to be able to work with them so that they're beneficial for the homeowner rather than detrimental. Now, the thing is that all earth energies, I think, are positive. Okay. It depends on what we do with them that makes them negative or positive. Yeah. And that gets kind of an advanced kind of discussion, which we can have over in the academy at some point. But we also have Karen Crowley Suzani here as a contributing writer who is all about earth energies. And I've interviewed her, twice, maybe three times that she's talked about earth energies. And if you go and check out her articles that she's written for us since, I think she's been writing that quite a year, maybe 6 or 8 months. Of the different articles that she's written about the earth energies. I think they'll be an eye-opener for you. Fascinating stuff. All right, so I want to get to these treasures that we have, okay, that the dragon is protecting. Okay, so Philip says that each of us has perhaps such a dragon guarding our inner riches. Concerned that none should violate the splendor of our innermost self, the dragon can sometimes deny even our waking consciousness access to the reserves of power and potential. The earth dragon is not found only within the cave or the center of a barrow or a hill, but it can also be curled around it. The powerful symbol of the journey of self-discovery and the spiritual quest is the maze or the spiral form, which can sometimes be detected in the ridges found on the sides of certain hills. You know, kind of like the Tor. I show you guys the picture of the Tor in Glastonbury. You can kind of see the ridges around it. It says that there's a connection between the dragon that slumbers coiled around the hill or around the treasure in the cave of the heart, and the creature we discover in the center of the maze or the spiral. Both are aspects of oneself, of ourself. Both can be seen as the guardians of the treasure hold, to be respected and loved, but also challenged and perhaps in certain senses overcome. Okay, so for me, I believe that it's in the work that we do individually to heal ourselves in all our bodies, but most importantly, in the emotional and in the mental bodies. Because those are the two areas that we can find the most blocks and interferences and debris that cover up our gifts or our access to them. So I think that is the part where they're talking about overcoming. Because sometimes it takes a great deal of courage to face those traumas. Because granted, on the surface, it might look like it's easier to shove them in the back of a faraway closet or in a drawer that you never open and slam the door shut, lock it, board it up. On the surface, it might seem like that's easier to do, but in reality, it takes a lot of your energy to keep that closed and to keep it hidden. a lot. So much so that there'll come a time that you feel it in your physical body as a drain. That no matter what you do, you're always tired, fatigued. And many times it goes back to keeping that trauma hidden. And so even though it might be more of a challenge to face whatever fear is there or whatever situation that is in hiding, in the long run, remember, when we face our greatest fears, on the other side of that is our greatest desire. So having the courage. And there's something that Julie Hedges shared. This was, a few weeks ago. She was talking about the tarot card. I think it was Courage. It's the one with the lion and the maiden, and she's got the sign of infinity over her head. I think that's Courage. Julie was given the definition. I think it was a Latin derivative of the word courage. And she was saying that it's about speaking from your heart. That's the meaning of courage. And so, turning to our spiritual teams, right, to help us to heal whatever, that trauma is that is blocking you, that is interfering with your access to your gifts or to your intuition, is to be able to face it with courage. In other words, facing it with your heart. Facing it with your heart. And if we go back to the dragon, and the dragon is protecting the treasures, and the treasures are our gifts, our innermost self, right? I think that's what he called it. You got to turn the page. Get a quote from the author. The earth dragon guards the treasures of your soul fiercely, but he is your ally, not your enemy. Do not try to kill him, and do not try to wrestle the treasure from him. You may need to spend time befriending this creature who has slumbered in your soul for so long. The treasures of your soul are the gifts that you came into this lifetime with. So instead of fighting him, instead of struggling against him, that dragon, that earth dragon, is to befriend him. He's your ally. And for Rob, that we know for sure, that's his power animal. And so when we work on, no matter what you're working on for self-healing, that helps us, all of us. It's that ripple effect, right? And every time that we do a healing, and we actually get to have more of our access, more of our gifts, because they're always there waiting for us. And that we're able to bring in more intuitive information from spirit. We have the ability to live the life that we're meant to live here, doing whatever it is we're meant to do. No matter if that is a tech in some company, or if it is a spiritual teacher, or if it's a librarian or an accountant, it doesn't matter. The vehicle that we choose to ride in to express our gifts, right? In their fullest. And so that then we have joy. All right. There was another place in here. Here, it says, that there's such symbols representing the journey of the soul in and out of incarnation. If we can face the dragon guardian of the treasure house of the soul and other world with sincerity and humility, it may well guide us through the labyrinth to the heart of the world, there to find the inspiration and the courage to be reborn again in time and space. So if you've ever done any work with me about the sacred space of our heart and the tiny space of our heart, that means a great deal. That perspective in that last line is that journey to the heart of the world, there to find the inspiration and the courage to be reborn again in time and space. Because every time that we come back into the physical, we do have the opportunity to remember all the wisdom that we've already gained from a past experience so that we can apply it in this lifetime as we're working on our soul contract. So this earth dragon is telling us a whole lot today, a whole lot. And when I pair this up to with the information that came from the cards yesterday, and the cards yesterday, we were talking about how the hare is a guardian of a gateway, and that the blackbird invites us into another dimension, and to know ourselves better is to take that spiritual journey, right? And it's all about change as well. And we were talking about how we're in a different vibrational field than ever before, especially in this lifetime, in this physical body. We've never been in a vibrational field this high on Earth in this lifetime. And when we use our gifts in the old paradigm, in the old way, we're not really accessing them to their fullest extent. In fact, sometimes you might even experience it. Well, it used to work and now it doesn't work anymore. What the heck? And then we start blaming ourselves, right? That we must have done something wrong, or I don't get it. When the truth is that we're vibrating at a frequency much higher than probably when we first realized that gift. And so now we have to apply it in a higher vibrational field. Now, we already know how to do this. We do. It's about remembering. And then learning how to do that application in that way. And the other thing that happens is that we have more information coming in through our intuition than ever before. And sometimes that freaks people out. They're not expecting, certain information. And so maybe it might be overwhelming to them. And so experiencing the fourth dimension and still trying to relate to it through your third dimension consciousness, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And what do we feel? Frustration. And depending on what you're doing, you might actually feel like you're being attacked. And the reality is that you're functioning in a higher frequency and trying to treat it like the old 3D. And how do you know if you're in 3D or 4D? If you've done any kind of healing work to heal those traumas at all, you're in the fourth dimension, because people in the third dimension would never even think about doing that. They're not awake enough to do that. They might someday, but no. So even if you've just done one thing to heal an old emotional trauma or mental trauma, you changed your vibration. So I do believe that the cards from yesterday and this card today is telling us that when we can make that leap of faith into ourselves, right? Into ourselves, and have that realization that, oh my gosh, I'm in the fourth dimension. I'm residing in the fourth dimension. So how do I use my gifts and my intuition in the fourth dimension while I still have access to the third dimension? Because many of us still work out there, right? In that energy field. So how do I do this? How do I handle this transition? Because that's what 4D is. It's a transition place. And I think that this message today is saying, make friends with your inner dragon, the one who is guarding your gifts, connecting to that earth dragon. And how do you connect to him? You're be grounded to Grandmother Earth. Ground. And you may have him on your spiritual team, or at least the energy of him on your spiritual team. And asking your spiritual team is how do I use my gifts? How do I apply my gifts in my new vibrational field? And then watch your dreams, watch the synchronicities, and have a spiritual conversation. Share it. Yeah. All right. Julie is saying, yep, strength card number 8. That's the tarot. And she's also saying courage from core, Latin, speaking from your heart. Right on, got it. Right, exactly. Thank you for that, Julie. I've used that many times. Giving you credit each time. Kimberly says, this is so spot on. I managed to get the root of a past trauma, and my recovery from CFs came faster. Oh, good for you, Kimberly. Yay. Oh my gosh, that is good news. Thank you for sharing that, Kimberly. That's good news. And Julie's saying, no wonder there was trepidation in my solar plexus. When we claim that power, what could we be? Exactly. Yeah. And I suppose we can ask ourselves that question. Why am I so afraid of that? Where's that fear coming from? How do I shift that? What do I have to heal? What do I have to face to shift that? Ask your team. Ask your higher self. Polly Joe says, I need these decks of cards. Okay. So, I've come to rely on Stephanie so much. Stephanie has the flu, and I am going to get the link, okay, Polly Joe, to the cards, the Amazon.com link. It's the Druid Animal Oracle deck by Philip and Stephanie Cargome. Yeah, they're a good one. I'm learning so much about Druidry. I really am. It's kind of fun. And Julie says, yep, they are a powerful deck. They certainly are. And Valerie, that is surely the question, and we'll focus on grounding. Thank you, Valerie. And Marie is saying, so if you don't know of any past trauma, how do you heal? Okay, good question, Marie. Good question. All right, so what we're looking for, generally speaking, and we've got a couple other teachers in the chat as well. So guys, go ahead and weigh in on this one. Is like much like what Julie said, is like, no wonder why I felt that in my solar plexus. Whenever you find that when something occurs or someone says something and your reaction is either fear or anger, and it's kind of either out of character or it is kind of over the top, okay, that there's something there, or something that that comes around, maybe different forms, but it's reoccurring. Sometimes that's linked to a trauma of some sort. It could be in a past life or a parallel life. But you know what I'm finding these days is that in order to be in the fourth dimension kind of thing, is that we've healed a lot of our past life stuff. And we're really working on more of the current life, the current life. And some of it could be ancestral healings, not necessarily coming from our personal past life, but maybe a past life from a 7th or 13th great grandmother kind of thing. And it goes from one generation to another. Okay. And I'm sure that Polly Joe could probably address that a little bit better than me. But that's kind of how you can tell. Julie said, I felt excitement in my heart. Yeah. Yeah, I felt it in my solar plexus, and it was like more like a holy smokes. It's a lot of energy. Hey, there you go. Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. Yeah, you ordered it already, didn't you, Julie? You ordered the deck, right? And Julie St. Polygiola Bay has taught about hidden traumas. That's right, she did. And I think chakra sessions, I would have to look at what month, what year that was. We can list that too. We could actually list the YouTube channel, and you guys, you can go through and see which ones you want to watch, and you can download them and watch them at your leisure. It's a lot easier than going through the Facebook videos because we have so many that it takes a little time to do that. You could do it that way too. Go to the fan page that you're on right now watching this. Just go onto the sidebar and click videos, and those are all there, right? In the Academy, you can do the same thing. You can go to the sidebar and click videos, and all the videos are there. Yeah, or we can share the YouTube, and you can download it. So, all right, we're at the top of the hour. It went by fast, didn't it? So that's my take on the Earth Dragon. The Earth Dragon. I think he's here to really help us a lot. Help us to to heal what we need to get healed so that we have more access to our gifts, and also how to apply them in this new energy field that we're in, this higher vibrational field. Because doing it the old way isn't going to work anymore, guys. It just isn't. Yeah, if you're feeling any kind of frustration about it, used to be I could do this or I could do that, and now, it's not working, or I feel like I'm bumping up against a wall. It's because you are. And I can only say that because I've experienced it and realized, oh, that's what I've got to do. Okay. All right. So join us for the other shows that are coming up this week, right? We start out next tomorrow on Tuesday at noon at Eastern time. Noon is Polly Jola Bay and Chakra Sessions, and she's going to be giving us some information about Egyptian Akashic records and ancestral healing. So I'm going to be there for sure. And and then at 3:00 p.m. Eastern time is this daily live stream. And then we have at 8 p.m. Eastern is my weekly show, Communications from Home. And my guest is Karen Armstrong. Karen and I go way back. And she's also a drummer and a drum maker. And we got a lot of things in common. She's a shamanic healer, and the name of our show is My Drum, My Ancestors. And I asked her specifically to bring with her information about her ancestral roots, which is Irish and Scottish. So a lot of Celtic information. Okay. And so that's 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. Tuesday. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern is Soul Connections with Polly Jola Bay. And you know what that's all about? Healing. So the first half of the about hour and a half time together is the healing meditation. So Marie, if you don't know if you have something that you can heal, you can just come in with your own intention of, I want to heal in a graceful way anything that is blocking me from the use of my gifts at 100% or optimally or something like that. You come with your own intention and you're inviting in your own spiritual team to work with you. Polly Jo and her team, they hold this sacred container for us to do this work. And they also help our team to help us to release or to heal what needs to get done. It's a very powerful time together. And then the second half is about the card draw. So if you enjoy having a mini reading, a card draw, you can join Polly Jo for that portion, and she will draw you a card if you ask. Yeah, I think her record is 55 in one night. That's a lot. All right. And I think that's it for this week. It's kind of a light week on shows because it builds in the month. That last week or the last 2 weeks of the month, they were pretty jam-packed with shows for you guys. So with that, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for the daily live stream and the group card draw. Okay? All right. Ba Mina. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.